Have you ever had that feeling? You know, the one where you're working your tail off, putting in all the hours, but you just feel stuck, like you're running on a treadmill and not actually getting anywhere. Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to unpack a blueprint for designing your future so you can start living a life by design, not by default.
All right, let's kick things off with a little story. Imagine this lumberjack. On day one at his new job, he's an absolute superstar. But by day 3, his performance has just tanked. He's working longer, harder, he's even skipping breaks, but he's felling fewer and fewer trees. He gets so frustrated, he quits. His boss comes over and asks, "Hey, when was the last time you sharpened your axe?" And the lumberjack, totally exasperated, says, "Sharpen my axe? Are you kidding me? I've been way too busy cutting down trees."
And that story, it just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly shows this trap we all fall into, confusing being busy with being effective. The lumberjack's whole approach, working harder and harder, well, that's just a one-way ticket to burnout. It's all about diminishing returns. Working smarter, on the other hand, is about focused, deliberate action. It's the difference between swinging a blunt axe 1,000 times versus a sharp one 100 times.
You know, this whole blunt axe problem isn't just a personal thing. It's practically baked into our culture. And here's a wild paradox for you. Americans work way more than people in many other developed countries. But does all that extra grind actually lead to more happiness? Well, not according to the World Happiness Report, where the US doesn't even crack the top 15. The data couldn't be clearer. More work just doesn't equal more happiness.
And this really gets to the heart of the issue. We are absolutely drowning in a sea of information, but we're starved for wisdom. I mean, human knowledge is doubling at this dizzying pace. But it's not about knowing more stuff. It's about having the know-how, the wisdom, to actually apply what you know to build the life you truly want.
So, that leads us to the single most important question in this whole explainer. Are you actively, consciously creating your future, or are you just letting it happen to you? Is your life a matter of choice or a matter of chance? Because here's the thing, the best way to predict your future is to create it.
Ultimately, that choice leads you down one of two paths. A life lived by default, that often leads to chaos. It's that reactive state of constant stress, worry, and feeling totally overwhelmed. But a life by design, that leads to what we're going to call coherence. A life lived on purpose, one filled with security, confidence, and just genuine contentment. The goal, of course, is to move from chaos to coherence.
So how in the world do we actually make that move? Well, you need a system. And the system we're talking about today is called Future Vision. Think of it as a practical, 6-step blueprint that gives you the tools to take back control and start building that life of coherence.
And here it is, the 6-step blueprint. It's a clear, repeatable process for getting you from A to B. First, you're going to select a goal that actually means something to you. Then, you'll reveal those hidden obstacles that always seem to get in the way. Third, you'll transform your limitations. Fourth, you'll craft powerful affirmations. Fifth, you'll imprint new beliefs. And finally, you'll practice mastery to make it all second nature.
Let's dive into step 1, select your goal. So why is this so important? Well, there's this famous story about a Yale study. It found that only 3% of the graduates had written down their goals. 20 years later, that tiny 3% had supposedly outperformed the other 97% combined. Now, while people debate if that study ever really happened, the principle is absolutely golden. Writing down your goals is a total game changer. It makes them real.
Okay, but just having a goal isn't enough, right? We have to figure out what's really holding us back. And that brings us to step 2, revealing those roadblocks and limiting beliefs that are sabotaging our progress.
Do any of these sound familiar? That little voice inside your head that whispers, "You're not smart enough," or "You're too scared to fail," or maybe that you just don't really deserve success. These are incredibly common, and the very first step to getting past them is just admitting they're there.
So how do we actually transform these beliefs? Well, that's step 3, and it involves a really powerful tool called the Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT. The easiest way to think about it is like psychological acupressure. By tapping on specific points on your body while you focus on a stressor, you're actually sending calming signals to the brain's fear center. It disrupts that old stress response and helps neutralize the emotional power of those fears and limiting beliefs.
And this isn't some abstract idea. It's a very real physical process. You simply tap on these specific points, which, by the way, correspond to energy meridians in traditional Chinese medicine, and it helps you release all that emotional baggage that's been holding you down.
All right, so once you've started to clear out those old limiting beliefs, it's time to build new empowering ones. And that leads us right into step 4, crafting affirmations. Henry Ford just nailed it with this quote: "Your beliefs literally create your reality." So the most important thing here is that we have to choose our beliefs on purpose.
This slide shows exactly how to do it. The absolute key is to make your affirmations believable. You're not trying to lie to yourself. So if you're feeling exhausted, you don't say, "I am full of boundless energy." No, you say something like, "It's okay that I feel tired, and I can rest for a bit and then exercise." See? You're building a realistic, believable bridge from where you are now to where you want to be.
Now for step 5, we need to imprint these new beliefs. It's not enough to just write them down on a piece of paper. You've got to really internalize them. And the good news is, you've got an incredibly powerful tool for this, sitting right in your pocket. It's so simple. Just record yourself speaking your new tailored affirmations. Then, listen to them during those times when your brain is most open to suggestion, but your hands are busy. While you're driving, exercising, or even as you're drifting off to sleep. This repetition literally helps build new pathways in your brain, making your new beliefs feel automatic. And finally, we've arrived at step 6, practice mastery. This is all about creating an environment, both inside your head and in the world around you, that supports your new vision for yourself. This is where you design your domain for success. Start your day with intention. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Create spaces that make you feel inspired and safe. Put on music that makes you feel good. You're consciously building a life that makes your growth the easy, natural choice. So, to wrap this all up, what we've just walked through is a system. It's not magic, it's a methodical process for getting out of your own way and finally getting into action. And as this quote says, a good system just shortens the road to the goal. It replaces all that struggle with structure.
And that brings us right back to our lumberjack. The lesson he learned was that being effective isn't about working harder. It's about having the wisdom to pause and sharpen the axe. So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. What is the one goal in your life that is truly worth stopping, taking a breath, and sharpening your axe for?